It's been rocky for the Olympic camp, where injuries
and Juric has fell very heavily indeed,
and suspensions.
And the bad news there for Durante is that card will keep him out of the grand final.
Placed a huge dent in their championship aspirations. They've suffered the full brunt of a heavy match schedule, with their biggest loss being chief playmaker Troy Halpin. Coach Gary Phillips remains philosophical amid the drama.
We're battle scarred. We're not battle hardened. We're struggling. The club's been 12 years since a grand final. We're very excited to be here. Excited for the supporters, the owners, and obviously for all the players. It's a wonderful opportunity to come to a place like Perth and experience a crowd which very rarely happens in this country, and we're just pleased to be here.
Wayne Srhoj has been called upon to fill Halpin's big boots, while Greg Owens replaces the suspended Andrew Durante. Ante Juric will start the match despite a dislocated elbow. He's been given the all-clear to wear a plaster cast in the match. Striker Ante Miličić will carry a slight thigh strain in the grand final, and the Sharks are relying on him to continue his goal-scoring form.
Yeah, of course, but, being a striker, that's probably my job to score goals, and I've had a good run of late. I just hope we can continue for just one more game this season.
Like Miličić, Damian Mori and Bobby Despotovski are just as crucial to their team's chances. Mori is equal with Miličić on top of the season's goal scorers list with 18, while Despotovski has scored 14. Perth have been the standout team for the season and are strong favourites for the trophy. Their only hang-up is the lingering memory of the 99-2000 grand final disaster against Wollongong.
Saved by the keeper, and the Wolves are the champions of Australia!
If you're looking at it from that point of view, if we're 3-0 up at half-time, we wouldn't be losing this game. That's for sure, but wait and see.
The Glory are without Brad Maloney, who succumbed to a hamstring strain and will be replaced by Gary Farrier in the starting team. They've otherwise named an unchanged lineup and should be well rested, as they've only played 2 games in 5 weeks. We now cross to Subiaco Oval, where your grand final commentators are Mike Cockrell and Paul Wade, as well as expert commentary from Frank Farina.
We're away in the 2002 grand final. The Glory get proceedings underway. A huge game this, of course, Paul Wade, for both of these sets of players. But 2 years ago, we know what happened to the Glory on that occasion. Will that be playing on their minds?
Mitch Davaray has made sure that their feet are on the ground. And if you look at the result that happened 2 weeks ago in Newcastle against Newcastle, there is no way in the world anyone is going to get carried away. Maybe the nerves are getting carried away right now, though.
Well, things getting heated in the early stages here. Edgar Jr. heavily involved. Tom Pondeljak for the Sharks. The grand final nerves playing a part, no doubt. Clint Bolton, the skipper of the Olympic team, running out from his goal mouth to try and settle the tempers. And Tom Pondeljak continues his protest to the referee, Mark Shield. So some early signs of nerves. North. Out wide is Greg Owens. Wilson has given the ball away. Here's Mori. Mori and Kohler shoulder to shoulder. Mori's just too quick and too strong. He goes to ground. And the referee says the decision will in fact go against Damian Mori. Wilson dispossessed. Here goes Despotovski. And Despotovski's still on the ball. Chance here for the Glory. A bright beginning to the grand final. Again, Lindsay Wilson hustled into error. Miller plays the ball into the middle. It breaks here for Faria. Faria trying to squeeze it through to Mori. And the Sharks under pressure again. A mistake by the Olympic Sharks. Finding it hard to settle on the ball, Olympic. And now some room at last for Wilson. Frenetic start to the grand final. Harris. Glory break again through Faria. He heads towards the corner. Inside is Mori. And again, some good defending there by the Sharks, but again, Olympics struggling to clear their lines. Miller plays it forward. Here's Despotovski. Miller continues his run. And it was was Owens across there for the Sharks. He concedes the free kick. An early opportunity here for Perth. 3.5 minutes into the grand final, and we've hardly had time to draw breath. There's Gary Phillips, the Sharks coach. A member of Olympics' first and only championship-winning side as a player. Free kick played in. By the Sharks, and a shot from Matthew Horsley had plenty on it. The Sharks under the early pressure, Robbie Dunn.
Well, like you're saying, they just can't clear their lines. They're defending well in the last third, but then just can't get it out over the halfway line.
Olympic looking to just slow the momentum of this game down somewhat. Here's Miličić. Wide on the right is Wilson. He comes inside instead. Here's Srhoj. Srhoj boxed in by 2 Glory players. Murray comes away with the ball. Past the first man North. The advantage played by the referee. Good refereeing here from Mark Shield. And Bobby Despotovski forcing the save from Bolton there.
We rejoin the action from Subiaco Oval, where your commentators are Mike Cockrell and Paul Wade, as well as expert commentary from Frank Farina.
Almost broke for Harris, though. Pondeljak. Harris again. Srhoj. I better spell this from Olympic. Owens. And that was a well-worked move from the Sharks. It's 10 minutes into the game. Still no goals at Subiaco Oval. And then the Sharks now starting to come into the game. Miličić. Harris spreads it wide. Packer is there. The Glory a bit slow to close him down, and Packer able to get a shot on target. Miličić. Still battling away, Ante Miličić. In the end, dispossessed by Matthew Horsley, who continues his run. Despotovski's conceded possession. A few of the fans getting a little bit anxious with the way their team is playing at the moment. Glory probably under a bit more pressure than they would have liked, and that is a sign of their frustration. Despotovski diving in on Miličić and going on with it as well, Bobby Despotovski. The captain certainly not setting the right example there. And Mark Shield has a card in his hand. The colour is yellow. And Despotovski goes into the referee's notebook.
Well, I think that's just a pure sign of frustration. He gave the ball away about 30 seconds earlier. That's a very ordinary tackle indeed. But he gave the ball a little bit earlier away to Edgar Jr., who was in the middle of the park. He didn't read the pass. He had a go at Edgar Jr., and then when he's tried to chase that one to make up for his last pass, he's just totally mistimed it. Again, it's the frustration of they just can't keep possession. It's exactly what happened 2 weeks ago when they played Newcastle. They just can't keep hold of the ball.
So a free kick here to the Sharks, but again, no Troy Halpert involved, so it's left to Wayne Srhoj. And that's well picked out. Packer, the shot was on target. Petkovic had to make a save. So the best opportunity of the grand final so far, and it's gone to the visitors from Sydney. Andy Packer. Petkovic had to be alert. It was a rehearsed move, this, from Olympic. Matthew Horsley caught out. An important stop that from Petkovic. The Sharks have the corner. In it comes from Pondeljak. And Petkovic this time with a clean take. Miller. Murray, as always, followed by North. Cross inside from Hassel was disappointing. And Murray goes to ground inside the area. A few rather optimistic claims for a penalty from the spectators. Been given by the referee. Here's Miličić. Wilson. Still with Lindsay Wilson. And a foot in came from Scott Miller. Horsley now looking for the ball and getting involved. Space now for Despotovski. Danger here for the Sharks. Well cut out by Juric. That is why Gary Phillips has gambled on his fitness. Perfect reading of the game there by Ante Juric. Price. Time to measure the cross. Didn't get the ball into the middle. Edgar Jr. And Greg Owens it was applying the pressure. Well, the referee has ruled that is going to be a corner for the Glory. Two of the Perth substitutes wondering why it wasn't a penalty. The referee not interested. Glory will have to settle for a corner. In it comes from Perea. A clean take there by Clint Bolton. Still going Despotovski up over the halfway line. Morey now looking a bit isolated on this near touchline. It's a good turn though by Morey to get away from Kohler. And the whistle goes, and that will be a free kick to Perth. Experience from Damien Morey. He had too many options, drew the foul, and the end result is a free kick for the Glory in a promising position. It's been taken quickly. In it comes from Price. And it was Matthew Horsley just launching himself at the ball there. Couldn't get the contact. Right, unfortunate that for the Sharks. The pace just starting to slacken a little bit, as you would expect. Despotovski plays the ball in early. The breaks for Perea. Perea gets the call from Price. And Jeromy Harris there, tracking his man all the way back to the defensive third of the field. Well, strikers are essentially paid to score goals, but when they do things like that, it certainly does bring a smile to the coach. And a little bit optimistic that pass from Wayne Srhoj, because he's handed possession back to Perth. Horsley. Morey checks off, make room for himself. Wants to play the 1-2 with Despotovski. Morey had to snap at the shot at the end. He was probably as surprised as everyone that the ball came through to him there, Damien Morey. In the end, he just had to snatch at the shot. The combination of Despotovski and Morey, always a huge threat. Some room to move now for Jamie Harnwell. Horsley, outnumbered. Dogged persistence from Matthew Horsley. Juric had to stretch. Well, this is going to be a throw.
That's what Perth needs now. They need Horsley to get into this game, get it out wide and get the crosses in. That's when they're looking dangerous.
Harnwell, plenty of bodies in the middle for Perth. Time now to measure the cross for Price. He goes deep. Morey's the target. He's won it in the air. Damien Morey off the post. And away to safety by Andy Packer. Well, Clint Bolton, the Sharks goalkeeper, was rooted to the spot there, hoping that that ball would go out. In the end, it struck the upright. So a close thing this for Olympic. The closest either side has come to a goal this afternoon. And no surprise that it was Damien Morey. Corner comes in from Perea. One in the air by Harris. Here's Hassel. Tarka. Harnwell jumping. And a regulation save this time by Clint Bolton. Gary Phillips, I'm sure, will be delighted if his team keeps a clean sheet for the first half of the grand final. It will be the platform, he would suggest, for the Sharks to go on with it, but there's still time for Perth. Miller. Almost getting a lucky bounce. And it was Jamie Harnwell in the penalty area who attempted to get the shot on target.
It's locked up at 0-0 in the decider as we cross back to your commentators Mike Cockrell and Paul Way, as well as expert commentary from Frank Farina.
Room to move. He combines with Morey. Morey one out against North. North dives in, inside the box. Mori with a snapshot. Well, that is a worrying sign for the Sharks, the way that Mori suddenly found himself up against just one opponent, and that was Jade North. He was inside the penalty area, and Jade North did very well to apply pressure when he needed to. Srhoj still going, Wayne Srhoj. Wilson waiting for the ball out wide. He gets it eventually. The deep cross from Lindsay Wilson, and then some heavy traffic. Jason Petkovic does well to make the save. As always, the goalkeeper looking for the early release up to his strikers, picking out Despotovski. Paul Kohler gets the toe in there. It's a familiar tactic from the Glory, those quick kicks out from the goalkeeper, but it's still very hard to combat.
Exactly, and Petkovic, I think he's already set the trend for the second half. They're going to look at trying to break very quickly and get the ball up to Mori and Despotovski. We've already seen a half chance for Damien, but I think that's going to be the trend because Olympics seem to be pushing a lot more players forward as well now.
Jade North fell to the ground there, clutching his face. The referee not interested. This is a good run from Miličić. The ball into space. Owens still with Greg Owens. Here's a chance for Ante Miličić. He lines up the shots. Ante Miličić draws first blood in the grand final. The Sharks silence the Subiaco crowd, and it's the top goal scorer, the most expensive player in the history of the National League, who puts Olympic in front.
That is an absolutely sensational goal led by Ante Miličić. He's made a run of about 20 metres. He's laid the ball off. He's gotten into the box. And I don't think you'll go a long way, Paul, to see a better finish than that.
That was quality, wasn't it? And we spoke about it. He did very little in that first 45 minutes. Yeah, he held the ball up, but he didn't have too many chances on goal. But what a strike this was. Left foot, what? Yard between the goalkeeper Petkovic. He's running away from goal as well. Give us a goal like that for the Socceroos.
Ante Miličić knows what it's like to lose a grand final.
It's very static as well, isn't it? Bobby Despotovski's standing there, Damien Mori's standing there, Hassel was standing there, so was Horsley. Nobody was moving. There was no room to move. I just don't know whether, as Frank said at half-time, maybe get it out wide, have a go at the fullback, including Packer and Wilson, get a crossing, get some movement happening, because at the moment there's a good, well, I guess 20 players standing on the edge of the 18-yard box and no room to move.
Great play there by Harris to get his body in the line. He's a bustling, old-fashioned type of centre-forward, Jeromy Harris, and he is making these Glory defenders think twice every time they're in possession of the ball. There's a problem, though, now for the Sharks behind play, and it's their goal scorer, Ante Miličić, who has stayed down. He's been in the wars for most of the second half of this season, Ante Miličić. He's had all sorts of leg problems. He's taken any number of pain-killing needles just to get out on the park. And that would be a sorry sight indeed for the Olympic fans and coach Gary Phillips to see Miličić hobbling towards the sideline. Perth have the corner. Played in by Faria. And Bolton's missed it. Almost forced home by Damien Mori. The Olympic players heading towards the referee. I think they're suggesting a handball, perhaps. Damien Mori so close to forcing the ball home there. We'll have another look at it as the ball comes in. Bolton was nowhere. And the ball coming off the post.
Well, there's always a changing point in every game. I just wondered that Mark Shields, when he missed that or gave the free kick against Olympic for that challenge on the box, could be a turning point just in Perth's favour.
Well, it was in fact Clint Bolton there who made the save, but the whistle had already gone. The Glory surging forward. They're looking for the equaliser. Despotovski, Horsley. They're lifting now, the Glory. Here's Edgar Jr. Price starting to push much further forward on that right-hand side. Miller now. Olympic very slow to close down the space. Miller gets the ball into the middle. Both Srhoj and Price go for the cross. Price puts it back into the middle. Juric wins it in the air. Miller tries the shot. Murray. Damien Murray goes for goal. The shot goes over the crossbar.
No, there's only 8 or 9 minutes left, but I get the feeling here that Perth might just sneak one. I think Merger and Edwards coming on has put a whole new facet up front for Perth, and the Olympic boys are just sort of looking which one to mark up. So I get the feeling that one might be on its way.
Harnwell wins the ball in the air. Pondeljak hooks it over his shoulder. Edwards does likewise. Owens will want that one to run over the line. And in the end it does. The Sharks continuing to eat up the clock. There's now just over 7 minutes remaining. It's Olympic 1 leading the Perth Glory 0.
Olympic are hanging on to a 1-0 lead as we return to your commentators Mike Cockrell and Paul Wade, as well as expert commentary from Frank Farina.
That's going to be a corner.
Well, the instructions have come from the Perth bench. Just have one player left at the back here. We've got 5 or 6 minutes to go. So leaving one guy at the back, hoping they can get that crucial equaliser.
Despotovsky has the corner for Perth. Driven into the edge of the box. Ishida was there for the Sharks. A wasted opportunity for the Perth Glory. They can't afford to waste too many of them because time has now become their enemy. Despotovsky. Miller. Out comes Bolton. Gets a fist to the ball. He needed to as well. Well, it's all hands to the pump now for the Sharks. Everyone behind the ball. They've got 6-7 players in their own back line. Owens has stayed down. Kohler slides in. The ball's over the line. And now an opportunity for Owens to receive treatment, perhaps. Well, he gets to his feet. Down goes Miller. Ishida dived in. The ruling is a goal kick. Wants Olympic to get a move on. They've now conceded possession. Edwards looking for Merger. Juric. Well, look at the amount of space there for Price. It really is amazing how much territory the Sharks are conceding at the moment. North and Murray tangle, and Murray looks towards the assistant on that far side. The referee did as well, and the ruling was a goal kick.
Well, Olympic are going to try and ruin some more time with Stephen Laybutt coming on now.
Well, here's that tussle between Murray and Jade North. And the decision and the benefit of the doubt goes to Olympic. Now just a few minutes away from the championship trophy as Laybutt comes on to replace Greg Owens, the Socceroo defender. It's been a difficult few weeks for him, overlooked in the run into the championship. All of his experience, though, will be needed in the final stages now as the Sharks look to hang on. Just over a minute left on the clock. Murray trying to conjure up a piece of magic for the Glory. Comes inside more. North still going, Murray. And that's going to be a free kick. excellent goalkeeping there from Clint Bolton. Well judged, you might say.
I think he judged that superbly. Look, Clint's... I think he saw that was going wide all the time, but it always looks good when it hits the side of the net and people get a bit excited. But I think Clint had that covered without any problem.
We're into stoppage time at the end of the grand final. It's the Olympic Sharks 1, leading the Perth Glory 0.
Well, there's no sign of the extra time going up, so I don't know if there's going to be any.
Well, it would certainly suit the Sharks. Kohler. Composed play from Paul Kohler. Here's Packer. And he's kept it in, Andy Packer. Ishida wants it played in the middle. Sets it up, Pondeljak. Tommy Pondeljak completely mishitting the shot. And now the Glory have a chance to counter. Jamie Harnwell involved in the attack now. Wide on the right was Horsley. It was a tired pass, though, from Harnwell. Here's Miličić. Olympic just trying to keep possession.
Well, the minutes have gone up now. There's 4 minutes to go of extra play.
Laybutt dispossessed. Hills for handball. Unlucky for Nick Merger, but the ball did strike his arm. Still with Miller. Space again for Price. It's a scrum in the middle. Despotovsky gets the header on target, and Clint Bolton is perfectly placed to make the save. Miličić. Still Andy Packer finding the legs on that far side. Macallister. Wilson. Ishida. Works the 1-2 with Wilson, but they've given it away again. Olympic. And the ball now breaks for Horsley. Harnwell now playing as a centre forward for the Glory. Despotovsky. Here's Horsley. Price looks up. Merger almost loses his footing. Still with Merger, and the shot came in from Merger, but it was wide of the mark for the Glory. Phillips appealing. How long to go? He wants the whistle. He wants it to end. They need to get it forward in a hurry, the Glory. Edwards getting the better of Macallister. Driven in by Edwards. Bolton has missed it. And Macallister helps it over the line. Epic stuff here in extra time at the end of the grand final. Juric, happy to play it anywhere. Another look at the watch from Mark Shield. And there is the whistle. 12 long years, the wait is over. The Olympic Sharks are champions of Australia.
The Olympic Sharks have defied all odds to be crowned NSL champions. Final score, Olympic Sharks 1, Perth Glory 0.
They actually better side on the day. I mean, I can't say that they are better side during the year, but on the day, they beat us and well deserved it.
What do you think went wrong? I mean, as you say, you were for so long throughout the season untouchable.
Nothing went wrong. If you saw the game, we played 70 minutes on their half, but we couldn't stick a ball in the back of the net, and simple as that. They have lucky break out of nothing practically, and they score, and that was decided, yeah.
Too tough up front. They were marking you pretty well tight, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it was fair game in the midfield. You know, they dominate in the midfield a little bit, and that's why they score. Simple as that.
You've scored what, 58 goals now in the National Soccer League? How would you rate it?
Definitely the most important goal in my life. Even sweeter that it came off my left foot, and there's no better feeling than silencing 40,000 people. You know, that's one that I'll treasure for a while.
Not too many people gave you a chance.
Well, you know, we're happy with that. We like it when other players don't rate us, you know, newspaper people, you know, Perth press. But, you know, the $5.25 that was on offer for Sydney Olympic was just delicious, and we knew that we were never going to lose.